Thank you. Good morning, children of God. It must be too close to Halloween and not enough candy. Is that what it is? We've been playing with this one all week, I think. It's not enough to study the truth. We must experience it. Not enough to study, we must experience. Let's start that experience as we stand and join together and sing in the silence.
Okay, thank you so much.
In this moment, love is here, peace is here, truth is here. God is here, and we take a moment. O loving Father, Mother God, we acknowledge your presence moving in and through us this day. This day we choose to be open, receptive, and responsive to your instruction and to your guidance. This day, we are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing, and to pray in the name, in the nature, in the power of the Christ. Amen.
Today's daily word is celebration, and we're going to have the reading of that by Dick this morning.
Good morning, everybody. Today's lesson, Sunday, October 25th, 2015, is entitled, of course, Celebrations. I share love in the celebrations of life. I joyfully celebrate the milestones of life with my family and friends. From new babies to community service awards, I take the opportunity to say congratulations wherever possible. I also celebrate my own special days, giving thanks for the people who helped me along the way. For loved ones who live nearby, I energetically participate in birthday parties and other gatherings. I also reach out to friends who live far away to let them know I'm thinking of them on their special day. Picking up the phone may be the kindest thing I do today. When dates on the calendar bring to mind loved ones beyond the physical realm, I celebrate them in my thoughts and memories. I light a candle in my heart for them and feel love everlasting. That's from 1 Kings 1:40. And all the people went up following him, playing on pipes and rejoicing with great joy.
And special thanks to Terry Pacheco, my assistant, who finds these terrific pictures. I have to keep reminding there's a couple of places where we get what I call the awe factor. It should be go, and we go, aw. But it's that time of the year, Halloweeny, so there you go. Aw. We're going to play with that some more before the day is out. One of the things that is true the more that you will be your authentic self, the more you will get this out of the way and just be who you are, the more your world is a wonderful place to be. Well, after all, you're the one who formed it, right? So it should be a good place to be. And the more you say and affirm with power the truth of you, the more that comes to pass. So, let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let's center, join with Steve. The Father and I are one. From your heart now. And having spoken these words of the truth of us, gently now, easily, we move to that place within us where there is no question, there is no doubt. The Father and I are one. It is that place within you that Jesus called our inner closet, our secret place. And this day, as we enter in, we close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done. We close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day, and for one holy moment, we rest. And we listen. For in our prayers we have asked, here in the silence, in the stillness, we do our work and answers come. Perhaps for you this day, in a word, peace, harmony, order. Perhaps in the vibration of a song. Regardless of how it appears for you this day, Know these gifts come to you wrapped in love. This day, in this moment, I say yes. I reach out and I claim these gifts. I immerse myself in them. And as I do so, every cell of my being, from the tips of my toes to the top of my head, respond. I am whole and free. I am re-energized, revitalized, and I am blessed. As we affirm our oneness, we remember we are a channel through which good flows into our world. In this moment, I breathe, and I open that channel wide. From me, through me, good flows. First into this room, to this now. Where these thoughts come together with thought of like mind. They grow in strength and power. And in doing so, touch each and every one of God's children. And in this moment, I am blessed. I choose to continue to be a blessing from me, through me. Good flows from this place into our community, wherever that might be this day. Healing, touching, blessing. From me, through me, across our city, across our state, touching, healing, blessing. And affirming oneness. I am blessed. I choose once again to be a blessing. From me, through me, good flows across our country, around our world, touching, healing, blessing. In this awareness of oneness, we can look at any circumstance, see past the surface, and know, regardless of appearance, I am there. Good is there. And in this knowing, I am blessed. This flow continues from me, through me, across our universe. And we remember that in spirit and in truth, we are never separate one from the other. In this knowing, somewhere, somewhen, someone is saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the gifts that have come from you, through you, are gratefully received this moment. And gratitude swells up and returns to you. The circle of life, whole and complete. I breathe it. I rest in it and live in it for one holy moment. And knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, holding to this experience we have shared, gently now, easily, I bring my attention back to this place, to this now. And from my heart, I join with you and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us when he said, "As for you, pray therefore in this manner." So I was teeing up hole number 1 yesterday at the VA, and one of our foursome turned and said to Dennis, "Boy, are you in for a ride tomorrow?" He said, "Tomorrow?" He said, "No, I meant Sunday." And Dennis went, "What?" He said, "Rob's talking about not death, education. You're in for a ride. Welcome aboard." Well, he was intrigued, and we had a chance to talk about it a little bit as we went around the course. And he didn't know what the word education meant, what the root of it was. Because had you known what the root of the word educate is, then you would know what the story of this lesson is all about. Because the word educate means, from its Latin, is to bring forth, to bring out. So the story goes like this. We have this fear place called death. It is not the truth of us because we know that Jesus taught life is eternal. Where is death in that? There isn't. Life is eternal. But we look around us and our perception is, our belief is that there is a beginning and an end that we call birth and death. And because it is beyond our understanding and is out of sight, many times, not everybody, but most people have this fear about the unknown. And that word death brings fear into your life. So we're going to switch that around a little bit. Jesus taught it, we just need to remember it. To switch it around, we just need to change our thinking. We need to bring forth a new idea. Death, as I understand it, is only transformation. Transformation. From a scientific perspective, you cannot ever get rid of energy. And you and I are created with what? Of what? Energy. So, life is eternal. We are created of it. We just need to understand it in a new way. And the first way is to get rid of fear. We're still in a dual world. I got that. It's still what we understand. However, we can begin to shift our thinking and to bring forth, educate, to bring forth a new idea, a new understanding. I've shared this with you before, but it's been so profound for me that I need to share it on a regular basis. For me, so if you've heard it, just go, yeah, I've heard that. But for me, it's important. Jesus taught this, in 3 days I will tear this temple down, and in 3 days I will rebuild it. And the people of the day thought he was talking about the temple in Jerusalem. He wasn't. He was talking about this body temple. I will destroy this temple and rebuild it in 3 days. And he did. Because he had learned to bring forth his truth. The truth is, life is eternal. And that I am allowed to choose what that looks like. And regardless of circumstance, regardless of what's going on in my world, I get to pick and choose what that life looks like. And it's written in a lot of different ways. Our brother Paul. Born again by the renewing of your mind. There's that mind piece. Say, because we have been taught and practice that everything begins in mind, thought. And there is how many of those? One. One mind. Has a lot of aspects. One mind. Okay? From this one, many. And we are allowed to bring it into expression. One of the challenges we have, he said, raising his hand, is I often ask, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I doing? And the older I get, the shorter that answer becomes. And of late, the answer is this for me. Your purpose is to bring forth, to learn, to educate yourself on how to demonstrate your truth. Meaning, every cell of this body, all 90 trillion of them, if our scientific brethren are correct, were created in the image and likeness of God. In other words, perfect, yes? So my job is to demonstrate that perfection. How you doing so far? Need a little help, yeah? Good. Okay. Good. I get practice when stuff comes up. Lynn and I had a conversation on the way in this morning. She's had a little bit of head cold stuff going around. And one of her coworkers said that when she called in, she used her dolphin voice to say, "I'm sick." And she kind of sounded like a dolphin. She's out of the room at the moment, so I can really talk about her. But she's getting better and better. And on the way in today, she says, "I'm just going to sit in the back and not going to hug anybody because, well, I know I'm okay. There might be somebody else who has a question mark. And so I'm going to honor their question mark and love them and just kind of out. So if you have no question that if you don't want to catch a cold, you're not going to get one, feel free to hug Lynn. If you have a question mark, it's okay. You're still learning. See, we're still walking through the process. We're all in a little bit different place on how that looks. Some of us are doing better than others. One of my heroes is Joel Goldsmith. And the reason he's one of my heroes is that about a week or 10 days, if I remember the story correctly, before he made his transition, he went to a doctor and had a full and complete physical. And his doctor told him, "You're the most healthy person I think I've seen in forever. You're just really all together. And Joel went, "Thank you very much," and made his transition based on his schedule. Okay, so it's not about what others think. It's about what you hold as your truth. Another one of my heroes is Fillmore. Charles said for years and years and years, "I'm going to live forever, I'm going to live forever, I'm going to live forever." And he practiced it and he lived it. And those around him who loved him the most said, "Charles, you have to quit saying that. People already think we're crazy. You're just proving it." And at 94, he agreed with them and made transition on his terms. On his terms. Knowing I'm living forever, just not in this physical body. And at his passing, according to one of my teachers who was there, he said to those around him who loved him, "It is time for you to let me go." They did and he did. Just like that. Beautiful. Right? It's a choice. We make choices. But he made a series of choices. Joel Goldsmith made a series of choices. The choice is, I'm going to live as if this body will last forever. As if this body will last forever. And I think to myself, I can remember hearing stories that life expectancy in the caveman days was about a week or 10 days. No, it wasn't quite that. Maybe a little longer than that. And I can remember, 30, 40 years. In the 407 is another one. There's all these numbers that are in there, and yet there are within it exceptions. How could our brother Methuselah do 900 plus years? How did Noah go 600 before he learned how to build a boat? Well, nobody told him they couldn't, is how I look at it. Well, they made some choices in their living about what was going to come in to their world, and they lived it fully and completely without fear. which brings me back to death. That's not something to fear. It's just another step as we understand it. So that's why we need to bring in a little more information. What does that look like? So that I can eliminate the fear and I can learn to live in love. God is all, both visible and invisible. This one that is all is perfect life, love, intelligence, and substance. Man is an expression of, and therefore I am an expression of, this one, and therefore one with perfect life, perfect love, intelligence, and substance. Perfect. Anything other than that perfection is a misunderstanding, error, sin on my part. So part of the purpose, back to that low, part of the purpose is to learn how to look past that. I read a little piece the other day about Emily Cady and Mary Baker Eddy, was where it first came from. Is one of the reasons she was so effective in healing. She was so powerful in this statement: this is not true. So whatever was going on when she was asked to work in healing with someone, she just looked past the appearance. This appearance is not true. And she said it was such power and such force that healing took place. Jesus did the same thing, only faster, in my humble opinion. Maybe not. Haven't seen either one of them at work. I'm just taking the word for it, right? But I know it works here. I know it works in this body, and I just need to work with it. And I use this all the time. Everybody has had a paper cut at one time or another. Before the ouch gets to the brain, the cells begin to heal that fast. You begin to heal that fast. Now, you can cooperate with it and allow healing to take place, or you can dig at it and help it. How many of you use that one? I'm just going to help this along. It needs more air. No Band-Aid today. But I don't like scabs. Those look ugly. So I'm helping. Whoops. It's just based on what we believe. It's what our understanding is. Not necessarily the truth. It's what we're behaving like. But at some point you come along and you say, wait a minute. I don't need to help because I already am. I am perfect. I already am perfect. I just need to express it. I need to get out of this fear piece and bring the expression piece out. And I need to do it to my world. And so you do. And the fun part is, for me, is as soon as I begin to really open up and express and stay authentic to myself, and I operate without any fear, those people around you react to that, because we're still mostly into reaction rather than response. And the reaction generally goes something like this: what's up with you today? And if they know me well, they say, Rob, you really upset me. I said, why is that? You're always happy. What's wrong with that picture? You need to be sad like everybody else. I went, no. And I am for the most part. That doesn't mean I don't have my bad days. I was talking a little bit earlier about the grief process that we go through as humans. And some days I have really, really good days, and some days not so much, and some days. But most of the time, even when I'm on a little bit of a down spiral, I remember who I am, that this is temporary, this too shall pass. This is a part of the process of remembering who I am. Somebody once said you have to have a cloudy day in order to enjoy the sunshine. Okay. But I know what's on the other side of the clouds. It's the sun. And that's what allows me to move through whatever I'm going. How many of us run into people who said this, the light at the end of the tunnel is really a train coming the other way? Right? We know people like that? Been people like that, maybe? Yeah. All right. And they live their life like that, waiting for, I had one of my other favorite ones here, again, based on superstition. If you drop one shoe, you have to drop the other one. Otherwise, you wander around waiting for the other shoe to drop. Well, what happens if you're living in a house where the person only has one shoe? Oops. Make him pick it up and throw it down twice, right? I need to be comfortable. See, there's all these things around us that we take in and we react to them. Okay? But the education to bring forth is to bring forth love so that I can bring that into, I understand it's there, but I can look at it and I can move myself through it because I'm no longer in fear. So I can step into a new experience. We're talking about looking past the problem. How many of you have ever seen the movie Patch Adams? It's a great, if you haven't seen it, go find it. You can rent it. Robin Williams did a great job in it. But one of my favorite parts is, how many fingers am I holding up? 2, 4. Depends on how you look at it. You see, if you look at here, you get 2. But if you're willing to look past it, if you will look past it, you'll see 4. See, we look at our problems instead of looking past it. It's just stuff that shows up in our world. We're learning how to look past it. This doesn't mean, by the way, that circumstance didn't happen to you, with you, involving you. They did. It's part of your life. It's part of your understanding of who you are, and it's part of your process of bringing into expression the truth of who you are, understanding that you arrived here perfect. I'm still playing with this one, so go with me on it. If I'm created in the image and likeness of God, when I got here perfect. However, I'm not demonstrating or expressing that perfection. That may be what my purpose is to learn how to educate, to bring forth that perfection. And so my prayers of late begin with from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head, from the tips of my fingers and everywhere in between, all 90 trillion cells working together in peace, in harmony, and in love. And anything other than that in this body temple, gently surrounded by those systems which are designed to remove that which does not belong. And I begin the process from there. Then I go into my prayer. But that sets my tone for me. Jean's not here today. She was in her Wednesday class, and I'm so thankful that she gave this to me. Reminded me is that think about your prayer work when you pray with every cell of your being as a power place, as opposed to just hanging out and praying, which is still better than not. But think about how much more powerful you are, because you're literally bringing into the process the whole of you, every bit of you. And in that moment, you're expressing the truth of you, and there's not a question of fear. So I've moved past it. Most of the time we just need tools. We find tools. You say, okay, bring me a tool. But I begin with the first slide I showed you this morning. It's not enough to study the truth. What must you do? Experience it. You need to live your truth. Let's live our truth. Breathe. How many ever took a class where somebody said breathe and then never said exhale? Right? They used the inhale one. Inhale. They forgot to ever say exhale. So I'll remind you, when I say breathe, it means both sides. Just in case you were wondering. Good. Now, I want to take a picture. Ordinarily, I would say to you, let's take a picture of this body temple as it is right here and right now. Right? Okay. Today, I'm going to ask you to take a picture of this body temple in its perfection. In its perfection, which means we have to look past what's right here, right now, and we can do that. Breathe. Got the picture? And to the expression of my truth, I say, I love you. Together? I love you. Breathe. To the expression of my truth, I say, I bless you. Together? I bless you. To the expression of my truth, I breathe. I appreciate you. Together? I appreciate you. Breathe. In recognizing my truth, I behold the Christ. Together? I behold the Christ. And so it is.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.